Chillers. I know it's supposed to be Tuesday, but it's not Tuesday. I meant to record this video yesterday, but I didn't because I was really busy with some things. So, yeah. Apologies. My apologies. But I do have a treat in store for you guys. Today I am reading some creepypasta stories. Like origin stories, and other things. I know I have one origin story in mind for you guys. So the first one's about Slender Man. And yet, I got these all from Wattpad. So I don't know if they're 100% true or not. So I take them with a grain of salt. Slender Man is a supernatural creature with nebulously... Hold on. Nebulously defined characteristics and abilities. Slender Man was first mentioned in Something Awful forums create paranormal images. Slender Man generally appears in modern times as a tall man in a black or gray suit, red or black tie, and white shirt, with no eyes, mouth, or clearly defined facial features. It has no hair, and generally has normal-looking bare hands, albeit with fingers longer and bonier than a typical human. Slender Man is typically depicted in imagery and literature as between 6 and 15 feet tall, depending on the situation, and in video as around 6 to 7 feet tall. Almost as tall as me. I'm 6'2". Because of its inexact nature and differences between series, no one has yet determined what it is. Currently, the two leading theories as to what the Slender Man may be are the Tulpa effect and quantum theory. The internet popularity of Slender Man has spawned a massive amount of interconnected ARGs, collectively known as the Slender Man mythos. In almost every depiction, Slender Man's basic attributes will vary greatly. However, several basic traits are typical of his behavior. He is shown to behave in a very passive-aggressive manner, stalking targets for years at a time, torturing his target mentally for various unknown reasons. He is rarely ever shown in a benevolent light, is typically shown as a malevolent force. This behavioral pattern has an uncertain reasoning behind it, and exactly why he behaves in such a way has yet to be fully ascertained. The most important factor about Slender Man is the mystery. He lives unlike any human being despite having a similar appearance to one. It is uncertain if he is social or even understands human languages or behaviors, nor why is it humans appear to be his main target. His targets will typically behave in off ways as if possessed, but whether their psychosis is causing them to speak for him or for themselves isn't entirely certain either. Slender Man's appearance is variable as the years go on, but as of to date, the most recent appearance is that of an abnormally tall human with long arms and no face, who is wearing a business suit. Again, it is uncertain if his suit is real cloth or some form of skin molded into such an appearance. Ugh. If it is the former, this would imply an intelligent being attempting to try to blend in. If it is the latter, it shows a being whom is extremely adaptive and evolves to match his environment and stick out less or more. Slender Man's appearance provokes a wide range of responses, the most common being fear. This is partially due to his extremely towering size over a full-grown adult. His behavior also factors into it, being almost completely alien in every concept. Finally, the main fact is he is completely unable to be described in human terms. While a description in words can be given, human language lacks the ability to truly define the entity until such a time as when humans can interact with him, if at all possible. This problem stems from the fact that he operates in a plane of existence further from humans. This is believed to be fourth-dimensional space, which gives him powers a human cannot understand due to humans living in 3 dimensions of space, and being unable to comprehend the 4th dimension at this time. In total, 2 major types of Slenderman descriptions exist. The original version depicts him as not only malevolent, but extremely dangerous. He will do odd things such as removing organs and placing them in bags, impaling targets on trees, and aggressively stalking targets after a period of time. A contemporary depiction shows Slenderman as being extremely passive-aggressive, often letting a person slowly delve into madness at their situation until being unable to cope. If invited to anger, he would typically charge a target down until caught and vanish with them to unknown locations. This version also shows an odd response to electronic equipment and causes massive problems with audio, surveillance camera, and other various electronic devices with displays or audio. Sometimes an individual can determine if he is near simply by how certain electronics react, such as cameras, televisions, and radios. How powerful this effect is seems to vary, and can either be due to Slenderman's own state of aggression or other outside factors either inside or beyond Slenderman's control. In almost every contemporary description, Slenderman is associated with stalking, often for extremely long periods. It is not unusual for a person to be chased by Slenderman for hours, days, months, or even years. However, his presence, while variable and not always present, is common and typically happens where the victim is the most comfortable: home, school, work, outdoors, along trusted roads, etc. One of the most common features of Slenderman, often stated amongst the fans of the mythos and victims, is that he would chase down targets who reach a certain level of I can't talk. Who reach a certain level of understanding of him. The amount seems to vary person to person, but it appears one must view him in his entirety from footage or encounters with a person he is already chasing, spreading in a mimetic style as such. Basic researching and collecting images does not appear to induce this. The individual has to delve into the Slenderman in almost an obsessive way. That creeps me out. If you notice the spot on my hand, I got burnt at work today. It really hurt. I was upset. I was really mad. Alright. Next is Smile Dog. Oh god! Oh sweet Jesus! That's the image I saw! Oh god! Oh god, that scared the crap out of me! Oh, sweet lord, that scared me so bad. Oh god, that was a legit scare. Ooh, okay. I first met in person with Mary E. in the summer of 2007. I had arranged with her husband of 15 years, Terrence, to see her for an interview. Mary had initially agreed, since, oh god. Am I okay? Oh my god, I just got really dizzy. Mary had initially agreed, since I was not a newsman but rather an amateur writer gathering information for a few early college assignments, and if all went according to plan, some pieces of fiction. We scheduled the interview for a particular weekend when I was in Chicago on unrelated business, but at the last moment Mary changed her mind and locked herself in the couple's bedroom, refusing to meet with me. For half an hour I sat with Terrence as we camped outside the bedroom door. I listened and taking notes while he attempted fruitlessly to calm his wife. The things Mary said made little sense, but fit with the pattern I was expecting, though I could not see her. I could tell from her voice that she was crying, and more often than not, her objections to speak with me centered around an incoherent diatribe on her dreams, her nightmares. Terence apologized profusely when we ceased the exercise, and I did my best to take it in stride. Recall that I wasn't a reporter in search of a story, but merely a curious young man in search of information. Hold on, I just need a minute. I'm gonna put an icebreaker in my mouth. Or two. I'm sorry, guys. That image just really scared me. In search of information. Besides, I thought at the time I could perhaps find another similar case if I put my mind and resources to it. Mary E. was the sysadmin for a small Chicago-based bulletin board system in 1992 when she first encountered Smile.jpg, or .jpg, and her life changed forever. She and Terence had been married for only 5 months. Mary was one of an estimated 400 people who saw the image when it was posted on as a hyperlink on the BBS, which I'm guessing is the bulletin board system. Though she's the only one who has spoken openly about the experience. The rest have remained anonymous or are perhaps dead. In 2005, when I was only in the 10th grade, Smile.jpg was first brought to my attention by my burgeoning interest. Hold on, I don't know how to say that word. Burgeoning, whatever that word means. An interest in web-based phenomena. Mary was the most often cited victim of what is sometimes referred to as Smile Dog. The being Smile.jpg is reputed to display Smile.dog. What caught my interest, other than the obvious macabre elements of the cyber legend and my proclivity towards such things, was the sheer lack of information, usually to the point that people don't believe it even exists other than as a rumor or hoax. It is unique because though the entire phenomenon centers on a picture file, that file is nowhere to be found on the internet. Certainly many photo-manipulated simulacra litter the web, showing up with the frequencies on sites such as the image board 4chan, particularly the X-focused paranormal subboard. It is suspected these are fakes because they don't have the effect the true Smile.jpg is believed to have. Namely, sudden onset temporal lobe epilepsy and acute anxiety. I'm guessing a seizure. And acute anxiety. I did get anxiety from that photo that was on the top. This purported reaction in the viewer is one of the reasons the phantom-like Smile.jpg is regarded with such disdain, since it is patently absurd, though depending on whom you ask, the reluctance to acknowledge Smile.jpg's existence might be just as much out of fear as it is out of belief. Neither Smile.jpg nor SmileDog is mentioned anywhere on Wikipedia, though the website features articles on such other, perhaps more scandalous shock sites as blank hello.jpg or Two Girls One Cup. Ew. Any attempt to create a page pertaining to Smile.jpg is summarily deleted by any of the encyclopedia's many admins. Encounters with Smile.jpg are the stuff of internet legend. Mary E.'s story is not unique. There are unverified rumors of Smile.jpg showing up in the early days of Usenet, and even one persistent tale that in 2002 a hacker flooded the forums of humor and satire website Something Awful with a deluge of Smile.dog pictures, rendering almost half the forum's user at the time epileptic. It is also said that in the mid to late 90s that Smile.jpg circulated on Usenet and as an attachment of a chain email with the subject line, "Smile, God loves you." Yet the huge exposure these stunts would generate, there are very few people who admitted to having experienced any of them, and no trace of the file or link has ever been discovered. Those who claim to have seen Smile.jpg often weakly joke that they were far too busy to save a copy of the picture to their hard drive. However, alleged victims offer the same description of the photo. A dog-like creature, usually described as appearing similar to a Siberian husky, illuminated by the flash of a camera, sits in a dim room, the only background detail as being visible being a human hand extending from the darkness near the left side of the frame. The hand is empty, but is usually described as beckoning. Of course, most attention is given to the dog or dog creature, as some victims are more certain than others about what they claim to have seen. The muzzle of the beast is reputedly split into a wide grin, revealing two rows, very white, very straight, very sharp, very human-looking teeth. This is not, of course, not a description given immediately after viewing the picture, but rather a recollection of the victims who claim to have seen the picture endlessly repeated in their mind's eye during the time they are in reality having epileptic fits. These fits are reported to continue indeterminably, often while the victims sleep, resulting in very vivid and disturbing nightmares. These may be treated with medication, though in some instances it is more effective than others. Mary E., I assumed, was not on effective medication. That was why after my visit to her apartment in 2007, I sent out feelers to several folklore and urban legend-oriented news groups, websites, and mailing lists, hoping to find the name of some of the suspected victim of Smile.jpg, who felt more interested in talking about his experiences. For a time, nothing happened, and at length I forgot completely about my pursuits. Since I had begun my freshman year of college and was quite busy, Mary contacted me via email, however, near the beginning of March 2008. To jml@blank.com, from Mary E. @blank.net, last summer's interview. Dear Mr. L., I am incredibly sorry about my behavior last summer when you came to interview me. I hope you understand that it was no fault of yours, but rather my own problems that led me to act out as I did. I realized that I could have handled the situation more decorously. However, I hope you will forgive me. At the time, I was afraid. You see, for 15 years, I've been haunted by Smile.jpg. Smile dog comes to me in my sleep every night. I know that sounds silly, but it is true. There is an ineffable quality about my dreams, my nightmares, that make them completely unlike any real dreams I have ever had. I do not move and do not speak. I simply look ahead, and the only thing ahead of me is that scene from the horrible picture. I see the beckoning hand, and I see Smile Dog. It talks to me. It is not a dog, of course, though. I'm not quite sure what it really is. It tells me that it will leave me alone if only I do as it asks. All I must do, it says, is spread the word. That is how it phrases its demands. And I know exactly what it means. It wants me to show it to someone else. And I could. The week after my incident, I received in the mail a manila envelope with no return address. Inside was only a 3.5-inch floppy diskette. Not biscuit, diskette. Without having to check, I knew precisely what was on it. I thought for a long time about my options. I could show it to a stranger, a coworker. I could even show it to Terrence, as much as the idea disgusted me. And what would happen? Then, well, if Smile Dog kept its word, I could sleep. Yet if I lied, if it lied, what would I do? And who was to say something worse would not come for me if I did as the creature asked? So I did nothing for 15 years, though I kept the diskette hidden amongst my things. Every night for 15 years, Smile Dog has come to me in my sleep and demanded that I spread the word. For 15 years, I have stood strong, though there have been hard times. Many of my fellow victims on the BBS board where I first encountered Smile.jpg stopped posting. I heard some of them committed suicide. Others remained completely silent, simply disappearing off the face of the web. They are the ones I worry about the most. I sincerely hope you will forgive me, Mr. L., But last summer when you contacted me and my husband about an interview, I was near the breaking point. I decided I was going to give you the floppy diskette. I did not care if Smile Dog was lying or not. I wanted it to end. You were a stranger, someone I had no connection with, and I thought I would not feel sorry when you took the diskette as a part of your research and sealed your fate. Before you arrived, I realized what I was doing was plotting to ruin your life. I could not stand the thought, and in fact, I still cannot. I am ashamed, Mr. L, and I hope that this warning will dissuade you from your investigation. Will dissuade you from further investigation of Smile.jpg. You may in time encounter someone who is, if not weaker than I, then wholly more depraved. Someone who will not hesitate to follow Smile Dog's orders. Stop while you are still whole. Sincerely, Mary E. Terrence contacted me later that month with news that his wife had killed herself while cleaning up the various things she left behind, closing emails, accounts, and the like. He happened upon the message. He was a man in shambles. He wept as he told me to listen to his wife's advice. He found the diskette he revealed and burned it until it was nothing but a stinking pile of blackened plastic. The part that most disturbed him, however, was how the diskette had hissed as it melted, like some sort of animal, he said. Hold on. I will admit that I was a little uncertain about how to respond to this. At first, I thought perhaps it was a joke, with the couple belatedly playing with the situation in order to get a rise out of me. A quick check of several Chicago newspapers' online obituaries, however, proved that Mary E. was indeed dead. There was, of course, no mention of suicide in the article. I decided that for a time, at least, I would not further pursue the subject of Smile.jpg, especially since I had finals coming up at the end of May. But the world has odd ways of testing us. Almost a full year after I had returned from my disastrous interview with Mary E., I received another email. Subject, smile. What was the other subject? Subject last one. Hello. I found your email address through a mailing list. Your profile said you were interested in Smile Dog. I have saw it. It is not as bad as everyone says. I have sent it to you here. Just spreading the word. Smiley face. The final line chilled me to the bone. According to my email client, there was one file attachment called naturally smile.jpg. I considered downloading it for some time. It was most likely a fake, I imagined, and even if it weren't, I was never wholly convinced of smile.jpg's peculiar powers. Mary E.'s account had shaken me, yes, but she was probably mentally unbalanced anyway. After all, how could a simple image do what smile.jpg was said to accomplish? What sort of creature was it that could break one's mind with only the power of the eye? And if such things were patently absurd, then why did the legend exist at all? If I downloaded the image, if I looked at it, if Mary turned out to be correct, if Smile Dog came to me in my dreams demanding that I spread the word, what would I do? Would I live my life as Mary had, fighting against the urge to give in until I died? Or would I simply spread the word, eager to be put to rest? And if I choose the latter route, how could I return? How could I do it? Whom would I burden in turn? If I went through with my earlier intentions to write a short article about smile.jpg, I decided I could attach it as evidence, and anyone who read the article, anyone who took interest would be affected. And even assuming the smile.jpg attached to the email was genuine, would I be capricious enough to save myself in that manner? Could I spread the word? Yes, I could. God, and the freaking, the damn photo freaks me out. I hate it. Okay, I can't do anymore. I was gonna do one on Eyeless Jack, but No. No more, I'm sorry. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up so I know. I'll probably do more of these next week. But, click my bubble to subscribe to my channel. And to follow all my social medias down below. I'll see you guys.